Marvin, you sent me this, and it shocked me this morning that I thought George was over this. But obviously, he's not. Big George Foreman talked about Colin Kaepernick and Kevin Durant and support Donald Trump. George Foreman comes out and says he loves the United States of America and that Kevin Durant and Colin Kaepernick has been brought up with people who weren't patriotic. In the interview, he always said, a lot of people died so that they can have this privilege. The greatest day of my life is when I put on the colors, representing the United States. Oh my goodness. George has been paid over $200 million from endorsements. Had he kept an equity piece, he would have somewhere close to about $700 to $800 million. But since George took the buyout and took the money for his name that he doesn't even own, he just gets paid for endorsements, sort of like the Mike Tyson deal. Like the George Foreman grill, he made more off that grill than he ever did in the ring. And once he sold the grills, instead of getting an equity piece, he took a complete buyout, and they only hired him as a representation of the grill. It no longer belonged to George. Because he thought, woo, Charlie, that's more money I'm going to see in a lifetime. That's going to be able to set up all my kids, my kids, my grandkids, kids. No, they not. Y'all going to run through that. Wealth don't go away. Money does. You'll learn that. And he's probably learning it right now. Because Foreman only has his name. That's it. They own it. So they get paid off of it. Their kids gonna get paid off of it. So they gonna phase out everybody once people pass away. And they start making all this money off your name. So here it is. This is what George Foreman don't realize. Joe Louis fought for the country. He did what Ali didn't do. He went overseas, entertained the troops, supported the war for this country. Put on the red, white, and blue. And what they do, they stripped him of everything and they came after him for taxes. That's what they did. Then, let's fast forward. Fast forward on down the line. Sugar Ray Robinson. Everybody else. Vietnam. The war. Everything. How many blacks were elected? Generals, strategists. We were only good enough to fight on the front line and maybe be a sergeant. They wouldn't let you ahead. But we fought right alongside them. And we came home and got what? So when you talk about patriotic, a country who has, to this day, people are still fighting for the same things they were fighting way back then. And people gonna be like, it's better now. Why do we have to say it's better now? Aren't we better than that? Shouldn't we be at a point where it shouldn't even exist anymore? Why we gotta be at the point of, well, it's better now? If somebody beats you Monday through Sunday, and they beat you Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, they're going to say, well, it's better now. We only get beat 3 times out of the week. But why does the beating have to come at all? That's the point. So, if they choose not to be patriotic or not to go to the White House, like Kevin Durant doesn't have to go to the White House. He don't. It's his own time. He was asked, he said no thank you. He's not the first person to deny going to the White House. So for you to mention Kevin Durant in the conversation just doesn't even make sense to me. Because he doesn't have to be there. Nobody's paying him. So that is his patriotic right as an American to choose not to go. Big George, you wore the red, white, and blue. You want to support it, and because you think it represents you and the people that's around you. I didn't see you speaking up when all of these people were dying in the streets or getting involved. And you a man of the church and the God and the faith. George Foreman was not on the lines. George Foreman didn't send his sons out there on the lines. All of them named George, and they never show up to say anything to these people at all. But you're so patriotic. Aren't those blacks part of America? The ones that was killed in the streets? So excuse them if they're not patriotic, if they're not seeing any patriotism towards them. I mean, see, people never understand anything unless you point it back in their direction. So I'm not saying like they've never done nothing in life or anything to help anybody. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying is you want to get involved in a situation, you are a public figure, you're getting involved and throwing your 2 cents in a situation that does not concern you whatsoever. And for you to basically condemn them and say, oh, they must have grew up around people that weren't patriotic. What that has to do with how they feel about what's going on in the world today. They might have grown up with people that's patriotic. They might have family that's in the military. It's very, very common. But when they see a country that's treating them the way they have been, they're going to feel a certain way when they're seeing people that look like them being murdered and they don't have any weapons on them at all. That's a throwback to 40 to 50 years ago, when the police get away with killing unarmed black people. That's an alarming situation. And then I hate when people use the term, oh, well, there's more black on black crime killing each other than it is police killing blacks. That just make me drop my head. See, they take these stupid statistics that they probably get off a network that has an agenda towards one side and to play off people's stupidity. And then you take it and you're going to run outside with this nonsense. The police job is to protect you, not murder you. So there shouldn't be more police murders of unarmed black people than it is black on black killing people. Neither one should happen. But do you say, well, there's more police officers not killing white people than it is white people killing white people? There's more white people killing white people than it is police killing white people. What y'all gonna do about that? See? You don't hear that. But that's another fact. So when they point that narrative at them, one side is supposed to be there for your protection. That's the police job. To serve you and protect you. So they're there to serve. Not to interrogate. Not to harass. Not to bully. Not to murder. They're supposed to serve and protect. So when they kill someone that's unarmed, yeah, they should be held more accountable in the standard because they took an oath. They took an oath to serve and protect. So when you want to justify that with just a random killing in the street, I think the police officers should be held to a much higher standard. And the law suggests that they should. But for some reason, they get to go home and get a paycheck. While the other families, they just get the more. So, where was George Foreman when all of this was going on? Why he wants to speak out now? If you've been quiet this long, George, be quiet now. If you ain't gonna stand up for them, just stand out of the way. If you don't agree, stand out of the way. Don't try to be a roadblock and help them out. I don't agree with what Colin did, but I'm staying out of the way. Let them do what they got to do. Only because he was on the clock. That's it. I don't care about the patriotism and all that stuff. You have the right to do what you want to do on your own time. You don't have to be patriotic if you don't want to. You don't have to worship a flag if you don't want to. Not on your own time. Now, if you go to a football event, basketball event, and you paid your ticket to be in there, you don't have to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance if you don't feel like it. That's your choice. You can go to the bathroom, get a hot dog, and I've seen people doing that. They was in line for stuff when the anthem's going on. They can care less. So, that's your choice. You don't have to do it. So when people act like they obligated to do it, you don't have to. Some people are just patriotic. They love the flag like that. But where was George when all these crimes was taking place? When these guys were being victimized? I don't remember George. Y'all do? Let me know.